Hello all, this is Aixxel, aka Wolfman here, and if you are interested in learning how to command HP trains, then this is the video for you. But in order to get started, there's a couple things that we need to do. Now, you can just hop right on in and get started with a small kind of private HP train. You could do it in the easiest way to do that is in a party, and you don't need anything to do that. You just need to go into your party setting, or let's get my stuff back up. You just need to push P and go to your party settings and have people join you. Alternatively, you could also do a mentor tag. Again, you can do P and mentor, and you can have people follow you. But if you do that, there are things that you are missing out on without having a commander tag. So, there are certain perks to it, so to say. But if you want to start small, you can always, like I said, you could create a squad where there's no commander, and you can just lead a group of people through a thing, or you could do the mentor, where everyone on the map's going to see where you're at, and they can follow you. So, if you're interested in that, to get the mentor tag, it's a Central Tyria Core Mastery Hat Commander. And it's the first mastery, so it just takes one mastery point and a little bit of XP, and you can unlock the ability to open up the mentor tag. So now if you're looking to get the commander tag, it's a little bit more in depth. But in order to host a proper HP train, I really suggest getting the commander tag. So there's three places that you can get the commander tag. There is the regular commander tag, which gives you all these lovely little diamond-shaped ones. Then there's also the Catmander tag, which gives you the kitty-looking ones. Now, I recommend just getting the commander tag, because it's easy, straightforward, boom, you're done. So if you go to Lion's Arch and go to the Fort Mariner waypoint, which is kind of towards the bottom, near the dungeon right here. And so we're just going to head on down kind of towards the dungeon. We're going to go right around it over here. There is a NPC here called Commander. And so you just open him up and talk to him. I already have the commander tag, so it's not coming up on display. But in order to purchase it, it's going to cost, it's a little pricey. Alright, so get ready to take a dent in the wallet. So it's 300 gold, along with 250 badges of honor, which that's the currency from World v World. Now, when I first got my commander tag, I didn't play any World v World. It was after that that I tried to go for my War Claw and got my War Claw. But, so I already somehow had 250 badges of honor. So I don't know if they give you like a starting amount. Don't quote me on this. Okay, don't quote me on it, but I'm just saying I didn't have to do it. I had my 250, and then I went for my War Claw, and that's how I have so much now. So yeah, 300 gold, 250 badges of honor, and once you buy the commander tag, the Catmander tag, in a way, becomes 50% off. Instead of it costing 300 gold, it only costs 150, but still 250 badges of honor. And it also works vice versa. So if you get the Catmander tag first, your commander tag will be 150. So there's a little silver lining if you want to go for all of them. Now, the reason I suggest the commander tag, just because it's right here, nice and easy to get to. Alright, so there's two places to get the Catmander tag. There is the blue Catmander tag in World v World that I will show you here. It's over here, I believe. It's been a little while, so forgive me. And this is why I don't suggest this one, because right now my starting base is way over here, which is lovely. So I need to make it all the way over to this section of the map. That's a lot of section of map. Without getting mobbed by every Tom, Dick, and Harry, because they will bombard you. I've done this, and it's not my cup of tea, but we're gonna dive in and see. Hopefully I can get it to you to show you where it's at. Woo! I think I made it. I think I'm in the clear. But we'll find out. This way. Yeah, here we go. I recognize this waterfall. Okay. So as you can see, that was a very, very, very long haul to try to survive. Now you gotta kind of have to do like a somewhat mini jumping puzzle. And I remember that I had trouble with it when I was doing this before I had my little Mesmer here. And I was doing it on my main Char Warrior, and I love my Char, but man, he could not do the jumps. Okay. Alright, forgive me, I'm just trying to remember. It's been a hot minute. Oh, did I jump in the wrong spot? I think I jumped in the wrong spot, because I need to get onto those there. Alright, down to the water. But yeah, this is exactly why I recommend at least getting just the commander tag first, because it is... Oh, I didn't go high enough. Because it is a lot easier. And I'm going to try to make this, if I already fell there, I'm going to try to make this a little bit easier on myself. And that's why I got my portal reminder that I should be using. Oh, it doesn't work in this. Someone said it did. Alright, see, that's what I get, because I don't really do this that much. Alright, let's see. Jump in. There. Yay! Woo! Alright. So yeah, just to get the Catmander tag, not only do you have to survive mounds and mounds of players trying to kill you, you need to... Come on, baby, you can do it. You can do it, little Mesmer. Where do I try to make that? Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, so not only have you to survive mounds of players coming for you, you have to do this tiny jumping puzzle on top of it. Now this is the part right here that I always struggle with. So if I struggle here, we're gonna know, because I'm gonna cut the video, or I can do a quick montage and show you how many times I failed. Let's find out. And holy crap, I got it on the first try. Wow, that is impressive. But yeah, here it is, blue Catmander. Yay! And this is where you get your Catmander tag. But since I already have it, all he can give me is my little blue mini Catmander. Oh, look, he's a chubby little guy. Why am I wearing that? Man, we're having a fashion problem right now. Why is that on my face? Or is it just because I'm in World v World? Hold on. That is what I like to wear. Why in the hell did it switch me? Technical difficulties. Alright, so that's where you get the blue Catmander. This is the one that I got. I will show you where to get the yellow Catmander, and I'm hoping that I can pull it off. So, we'll see. Alright, so now I'm gonna show you where the yellow Catmander tag is. Now this is in the desert. It is up here in this area. So again, we have a lot of trekking to go through, and hope and pray that we don't die in the process. And like I said, I've never gone for this one, so bear with me. And I'm hoping and praying that I don't get my butt handed to me, but we will find out. Okay, so this one looks like it's a bit trickier. But you know, lo and behold, it's behind another waterfall. I think it's up here, I want to say. Something tells me I need to climb higher. Please don't let that be the thing that kills me. Let's see. Okay, yeah, here we go. Here we go. See, I don't do World v World that much. Alright. Here we are. This is looking right. Alright, so again, this is another tricky one. Time to see if maybe I can do it on the first try. We'll see. Step down right there. Okay, alright. It's like in. Nope. Alright, we'll be back shortly after this break. Yay, I made it. I forgot there was so much more running after you get inside. But yeah, here is your yellow Catmander. And then this is where you'd get your other Catmander tag. But again, I already have. So that's why only the mini is showing up. Hello, mini kitty. Alright, so now that you've gotten your Commander tag and or Catmander tag after that crazy ordeal, we are ready to move on to the next step. Alright, now that the hard part is over, getting your Commander or Catmander tag, let's learn how to properly use it. So if you press P, or you could hit this little arrow up in the top left corner, and you can click Create Squad. And now you'll be greeted with this lovely, lovely little window. So we have the squad message, which when anybody joins your group, that's what they'll see. Is a test. And when they join in, it comes up right down here in the chat window. And you could put, you know, anything you want there, essentially. What I like to do for my runs is I have a notepad. Oh, is it really not showing up there? I thought I could just click and drag that in and it would show up. Huh. Interesting. What if I minimize this? Alright, well, I'm learning something new. You can't see my, my notepad. Well, anyway, I have a notepad. I have a notepad for my fast runs, and I have a notepad for my slow runs. So what I like to do for my chat, or my squad message, is I'll throw in, for me, whether it's I leave it blank on purpose, that way then it's easier to type in what I want. So I could type in fast, hot HP train, or if I normally I do my chill runs, and I say the time, so let's just say 25 for shits and giggles. I tell people that we're grabbing the waypoints too, that way then they don't have to worry about it. What is needed, basic lighting and raptor. And then I like to just throw in where we're starting, where we currently are at. That way if someone joins the squad from a different map late, they see, oh, they're in Verdant Brink. And then I throw in the starting waypoint of each map. And now that may look like gibberish, but if you go on Guild Wars 2 Wiki, all the waypoints have this kind of gibberish text. But once you click it on here, you'll see it's Shipwreck Peaks waypoint. And you can click it, and it takes you right where you need to go. That way then if someone joins your train, they know exactly where you're starting and how to get there. And I'll have a link, or not a link, I'll have all the starting waypoints in the description below. So that way then it's just easy peasy. So then underneath that is the raid mode, which you can lock it, and it only makes it available for 10 players. So this is nice if you're starting out and you just want to keep it a nice small train. Now, be warned that even if you make it a raid squad of 10, people are going to see your tag on the map. Right now, they can't see it on the map. They can only see it in person because I have it set to private, because I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. And that's why I'm like high up here so no one sees me. So do be noted that if you do a small group of 10 and you have your tag active, you will probably attract attention. So even if you make it a group of 10, you still will have people outside the squad following you. And same goes true for a 50-player squad. I've been on Xander's runs that max out at 50 and there's, you know, 5-10 other people still trailing behind us. So just keep that in mind. There will always be people following you outside of your squad. Underneath is this lock all subgroups, which, like it says, now there's a little lock button here. It locks it, so that way then only the comm now can move people. Because you'll have people that join and all of a sudden they're like, oh, yeah, put you here, put you there. And I at one point I was running a train and I had, I think it was 4 subgroups. I had like one person and one by themselves for whatever reason. And then there was me at the start of the run in group 2, and then group 4 had like 3 people. So I just locked the subgroups. There's another way to lock them too, which I can show that too. And then there's allow members to send invites. I leave that on because if you're a commander and, you know, oh, and you leave this HP and you're running, and someone is way up here and they say in say chat, hey, can I get invite? You know, in the say chat, you can only be so close to them. So if I'm already, let's say, way over here, I'm not going to see that message. But if there's other players trailing with this player that's way back here, they can see it and then right click on their name. It's not doing it because I'm me. They can right click on their name and throw send invite. That way then it just makes it a little bit easier. 9 times out of 10 people will do it in map chat. And sometimes I don't know they're referring to me because map chat can be anybody. But it just makes it easier that way. If the commander doesn't see it, that if another player does, they can just go boom. Or if the other player has, hey, I have a friend that wants to join, you know, 9 times out of 10 people still ask, which is really nice. And I usually just say, yeah, you know, send them an invite, whatever. So I leave that open. I've never found it to be abused to where I have to uncheck it and be like, no, you cannot join, bruh. And then obviously private squad, you'll notice my little thing will, like, I think flicker down there. Bling! Now everyone can see me. Bling! Now I'm gone. So that's just, yeah. And then allow uninvited players to join. I thought I usually have... Oh, I guess I usually do have this set to know. Anyway, you can do anyone can join, so they can right click on you and come in, yes with approval, or no. I'm pretty sure I normally usually have that to anyone can join, but yeah. And then view as grid just changes the way the layout of your subgroups are. I personally like it viewed as grid. And you can toggle this to be as big and as small as you want. I usually like it, probably I think I had it about here, because that way then I can see the entire squad. I think originally when you started, it's like to here, so you only get like the first, because these get smaller as more people join. And so you only get to see so many players. I like to see the whole thing. That way then I know who's where. So that's the whole thing here. And then there's obviously leave, which means you leave the squad. And then down here you have your lovely little tag colors. So depending on if you got the commander tag, which is these 2 rows here, or the catmander tag, which is these 2 in an 8th, a 4th row, you know, you could choose what color you want to be. Now, all this is personal preference. I will say my tips and advice is that I love the color blue. And I first started hosting runs as the color blue. But what I found is that a lot of players were having trouble seeing me. Because when you have a sea of 50 people, literally, this is all you see. Gibberish. Names going in names, and you can't see anything. So, and they're all blue. And what people have told me is that in the sea of names, of blue names, they lose the commander tag. So I thought, okay, what's a nice color that will really stand out, really pop? White, right? That could be good. That could be good. Wrong. What people have told me, and again, this is all personal preference just from my experience. You could take it with a grain of salt and just say, well, Aixxel doesn't know what they're talking about. I'm going to do white anyway. That's fine. That's fine. Personal preference. I'm just offering tips on what I have come across. So on the mini map, when you're in your groups, if you're in subgroup 2, every other little bubble is going to be blue on here. If you're in the same group as your squad, all the bubbles are white. I've had players tell me, hey, I can't find you on the mini map. Granted, I don't know why you'd be looking at that versus what's in front of you, but nonetheless. But I've had people say, hey, I lose your comm tag in the sea of white dots. And when you have 50 players, that's a lot of little white dots. It's like looking at like an anthill, and you're trying to find, you know, a small little person in it. Trust me, as a commander, it's tough. So I thought, okay, I'm going to rework this whole scenario. Now, when I host, when I host my hot runs, I figure it's a great big jungle. It's green, lots of browns and greens and, you know. So what color offsets that? Let's do a nice bright red. That way then it bounces off the green and people can see it. So that's what I do for my Heart of Thorns runs. For my Path of Fire, as you can see, we're in Domain of Abi. A lot of brown, oranges, kind of like a red. When I host here, I like to do green. Bounces off the reddish of the sand, and people can see it. When I host EOD, yeah, there's lots of greens and lots of blues and things, but I like to be different, and I could go back with the red tag, just make it nice and simple. Me personally, I mix it up and I go with the purple tag when I host EOD. That way, I'm hoping players pick up on, like, depending on the color tag and this and that, they kind of know what I'm hosting. And I'll use my commander tags for my chill runs. If I'm doing a fast run in Heart of Thorns, red, fast run in Path of Fire, green, fast run in EOD, purple. That way then it kind of differentiates between my fast runs and my slow runs. I also, when I host my fast and slow runs, I will host my slower runs, my chiller relaxation runs, under this little guy, Aixxel the Defender. And then I host my faster runs under Aixxel Forgefang. Now, again, this is all personal preference. I'm just trying to just help in any way that I can. So, now that we're familiar with the comm menus, let's dive into some of the special unique skills that a comm has. So, if you alt-click on the map, you normally, if you aren't a commander, you just get your personal waypoint. And you could throw that anywhere. Now, the squad cannot see the personal waypoint. You could throw it up there as much as you like, the squad will never see it. It doesn't show up. Why, I don't know. I've noticed that personal waypoints only seem to work in parties, but they do not show up in squads. So if you alt-click again, you'll notice you get 3 other options. You get squad attack order, which is this lovely little, kind of looks like a railroad crossing. Whee! And then you also get a defend marker, looks like a little shield. Yay! And you also get another one called squad rally order. Woo! So I use mostly the squad attack order, and every now and then I do use the defend order. So what I'll do to help players out And I think that this is so helpful. And I've had someone actually comment saying, I love that you... Do I still have that mail? No, I don't. But I had someone comment saying, I love that you put the markers so that people know where to go. If they fall behind, they know where they need to be, what they're doing, and if they already know the maps, they know where you're heading. So, what I like to do is help communicate with the squad, and that's what differentiates, in my opinion, a good commander from a great commander, is the communication. If you can make your runs as simple and easy for people to follow, whether it's fast, medium, or slow, and everyone can get what they need to get, then you've done your job as a commander, in my opinion. So one of the things that I like to do is that whatever weight or whatever HP that we're heading to, mark it with the squad attack order. And for my slow runs, whatever waypoint we're going to, I don't like to put the squad attack order right on it. That way if people have the waypoint, they're not getting... I don't think it blocks you out from it, but I'd rather not risk it. So I'll just throw it off to the side like that. Ta-da! Now, when I mentioned that I sometimes use the defend order, I know right in this little area right here, there is quicksand. I usually don't point it out here. I usually point it out much more so in Elon Riverlands, where you go from this waypoint right to here. I warn people, you know, don't run straight to the HP, because if you don't have a skimmer and you just go la 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 la, oh no, I'm falling in the quicksand. I will usually try... Can I put it all the way out here? Holy crap, I can. I don't even need to be in the same map. Look at that. Anyway, so what I'll... Oops. So used to Photoshop, hitting space to move and whatnot. So what I like to do is, once I get to here, I warn the players, hey, there's quicksand up ahead near the defend marker. Don't run straight to the HP, follow the markers. That way then people will follow me and go this way, instead of going la 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 la, ah! Granted, the waypoint's not that far away, but still, people appreciate being warned. Of course, unless you have a sky scale and you just go, okay. But anyway, so that's what I use it for. I also use the defend marker here in New Koenig. Forgive me, I don't read things right, so I'm sure I'm butchering that. I let people know after we finish the last HP here, hey, if you can, optional, go to Arborstone at the defend marker. Enter Arborstone, grab the 1 HP there, and leave via the portal near the waypoint. And then I tell people, if you can't, then follow me to the other portal. That's just one of the only times I use the defend marker. But again, people seem to pay attention and realize, and yeah. So I hardly ever use the squad rally order. I mean, if you rather use that instead of the defend marker or the attack order, by all means, do whichever one you like. If you're like, that thing looks stupid, you know what, I want to use that, go ahead, use that. Players will still see it on the map. It doesn't matter whether it's right there, right next to you, or hovering somewhere over here over the Garden of Saborin. You know, you're gonna see it on the map. The only one, again, that players will not see, and only you will, is the personal waypoint. So that one just doesn't work. Another thing that the commander tag gets you is a lovely, lovely little tool that every commander should use. And that is markers. No, I'm not talking about Crayola. I'm talking about these lovely guys. So you get 8 markers. 8 lovely rainbowy markers. Aren't they beautiful? They're so pretty. Anyway, so if you alt-click one, you get arrow. I'll click 2, circle, 3 is heart, 4 is square, 5 is star, 6 is spiral, 7 is triangle, and 8 is X. Now, me personally, I will try to make sure that my ports, or if I tell people to drop at a certain point, I try to use only 4 of these markers. And that being circle, star, triangle, and X. Why those 4, you ask? Simple. They are the easiest to spell out. When you are in a rush and you're trying to tell a group, you know, hey, drop at this marker, I find it so much easier. Instead of typing circle, you type O. Star, 4-letter word. Easy peasy. It's not like arrow where, you know, or spiral. Every time I try to spell spiral, I always end up spelling it wrong. So it's easy enough. Triangle, you make that try. X is X. 9 times out of 10, my ports are at X. Drops are sometimes O and or star and try. Ports will be try as well sometimes. So I just find that personally easier to type, because while you're running, and granted you can save them in a notepad and copy and paste them in here, which some commanders do. Me personally, again, it's personal preference. Me personally, I found that unless I'm giving like a big spiel, like I'm warning people about the poison HP in Tangled Depths, I find it easier for me to type it out. I don't know why that is. Granted, I have spelling mistakes, and trust me, the squad will call you out on it. But I just find it easier for me. And I like using these 4 because they're the easiest to abbreviate. So again, that's just my personal preference. Now, you have to remember though, you can only lay down 1 of each at a time. So if I got a circle here, and I decide to put a circle over there, oh no, it's gone! So you have to keep that in mind while your train is following you. Because otherwise, yeah, you'll run out of these real quick. Now, what I find that I like for when I host a run, I will use, where are you? The perfect spot. Let's see. Let's go to here. And now I'm still in my commander tag, so I don't know. I'm hoping people that see me won't end up following me, but we'll see how this goes. Let's fly away from this guy. Alright, so let me get to the one spot that I know that could easily be confusing to a player. Alright, it's when we come from the 4th HP, which is directly above us, up in this general area. Now, ah, crap, I'm gonna get attacked by everything under the sun. Okay. Let me mark super hard HP. Alright, so we're coming from this HP right up over here. Got the squad attack order up, boom, we're good. So what I find that I like to do is I like to space out my markers. Some comms will come in and they will just kind of boom, da 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 boom, you know. Oop, did not mean to get rid of those. That's what I get for hitting too many buttons. You know, which is great. But if you're at the end of the train and you know, you're just communing, finishing up, next thing you know, everything starts disappearing on you slowly, you're not going to know where to go. So what I find that I like to do is I like to space them out, and this map does a perfect example of it. So when we jump down from up here, I'll usually put an arrow up here to let people know we're jumping down this way, and then we come down here, and I'll put, let's see, there's a fork in the road here. And, oh look, the HP is somewhere directly straight ahead. So if I go this way, it'll be okay. No, so I like to put it in the fork in the road. Okay, why isn't it going? There we go. That way then they know, oh, all right, so we're supposed to go this way. And now I won't put any out here because obviously you're not going anywhere left or right. Now there's a little path off to the side here. So I'll throw one over here. That way then they know, okay, we're going this way. And then we have another fork in the road here, left or right, which way? I mean, obviously you see the squad order, so you probably figure this way, but you never know, so I throw one over here. And now this is the part up here that is what made me think of this path as the perfect example. I've had people, when I'm running right through this little section here, and they'll be running and running and running, and I'm gonna die. And they've run ahead of me for like a split second, and they start heading down this path. Because why? The HP is in that way. But that's not the way to go. And luckily they're only a little bit ahead of me, so I throw one here, and then they soon realize, oh, we're going this path. And then people do start to try to go this way. And I'm like, no. So I put one here.
Everything left of House Luke.
And then we get to the water, and I like to throw one right about here. And then we're here. And then I put an X up here, and then the cave is over that way, and I'll throw... Unfortunately, I have to restart my path because I'm down to my last marker. But usually by then, people are away from the HP. They're probably like over in this area, so it's okay to get rid of those two. But this way, while you're still way over here going through this tunnel here, people can still kind of follow your path and not go, oh, the HP is this way. Let me go this way. I can get to it. I can get to it. Shit, how do I get to it? There's no one here. I'm panicking. Ah! No, they can still easily follow your nice little breadcrumb trail right to where you need to get to and blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, I found you all. I'm so happy. So, and you'd think I'd have coffee today with how excited I am. So, that's pretty much the markers. There's 8 of them. You can only lay one of each. Now, if you hit Alt 9, this clears all the markers in the map. Boom, gone. Voila, vanish. Which is nice. I usually try to do that after everyone's gotten to the HP, but sometimes I do forget, or if it's a short enough distance between 1 HP to a waypoint, I leave them up because I can use, let's say I only use 1 through 3, my arrow through heart. And the next waypoint, I can use square through triangle to get to it. Maybe I'll leave the 1 through 3 up just to help other players. So, but I usually really do try to get rid of them. Now, another fun feature is if you do Alt-Shift and click one of the buttons. Oh, that marks... I was trying to mark this thing. I did not know. There we go. Did not mean to mark myself, but as you can see, you can mark NPCs, and you can even mark players. And I don't use this feature too much, but I have noticed that comms will use it. I've seen comms use it on slower runs, where if a player is struggling and falling behind and whatnot, they will use it to mark that player so they can keep an eye on them on the map. And they know exactly where to find them, and they're not lost in the sea of 50 little ants on the mini-map. Because trust me, that has happened. And what I use is, if I'm trying to find someone, I tell them to talk. Because if I'm in the same group layer and I can see their little speech bubble, I kind of use that to locate them. So, but I've noticed commanders will do that. Commanders will, when they appoint, you can appoint players to lieutenants. And lieutenants have the same powers as a commander. They can throw it on markers, and they can broadcast their squad chat, which I will talk to you guys about that in a minute. They can do that, but other players can't see them. So sometimes commanders will mark the other player with an icon. That way then players can see them on the map, and they know, hey, okay, this person is with the commander. I can trust and follow them. I hardly ever use it. The The 2 times that I do use it, though, are when we're doing the Golem HP in Auric Basin, because a lot of players will not hit the tiny Golem. It dies too quickly and it's gone. And everyone's like, why didn't I get it? I hit the big guys. I will target the Golem, and then I will put an arrow marker, much like the one floating over my head right now, right on him. That way then the players see, okay, this is what I need to attack. This is what I need to go for. The other time I use it is if we happen to run into the treasure mushroom. So players that don't have the mastery, the invisible mastery, can't see it. I target it. I don't even know if it works this way, if putting an arrow over it and they just see an arrow floating running around. I don't know if that works, but I've tried it and no one has said anything else, so I'm assuming it does. That way then people can see, oh, there's something here, and I tell them AoE around it and you'll get credit despite not even be able to see it. It just helps the players. Again, I don't have confirmation on it because no one has said, yes, it helped me, or yes, it didn't. Just no one's told me it didn't. So I'm assuming that it works, and you just see essentially this running around. So I just find that it helps the players that way. And again, it works the same way. So Alt-Shift-1 is arrow, Alt-Shift-2 is circle, 3 is heart, 4 is square, yada, yada, yada. And again, to clear them, Alt-Shift-9 gets rid of all of them just like that. It's like they were never there. So, that is definitely one of the most unique tools that a commander can utilize in their runs, is the markers. I find they help out so much. So now one of the other things that I like to talk about is, and I almost forgot to talk about, is the broadcast to squad chat. Now this is a useful tool. I like to use it for when we get to the HP, get to the waypoint. I just quickly, waypoint 1 of 6, or HP 1 of 6. Obviously no one hears me. Thank you game. I'm alone. But as you can see, it popped up on the screen. I will also use that for when I'm doing, okay, where is my, here we go. I also like to use it when I talk about, when I give like the lowdown before the run, and I like to throw it up on the screen with a simple copy paste. Thank you game. I know I'm alone. I'm a loner. Ain't no one there beside me. So anyway, I like to throw it up on the screen. I've had people yell at me saying, why you keep broadcasting it in squad chat or whatever. Again, personal preference, I like to do it because even if a player is half paying attention, they're over here fighting something, pew, 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 hiya, wah, and they're not paying attention to every little thing that comes up in squad chat down here, at least they get a message that pops right up on their screen. So even if they're not fully paying attention, and they kind of are, at least it kind of gets their attention, so they start to look down here and go, okay, Comm is trying to tell us something. So I just find that it helps. Granted, still people won't listen. That's just human nature. You're always going to have the people that, don't look at squad chat and sometimes don't even see the broadcast chat. But I just like to do it just to help people. Hopefully they will see it and it makes it easier. Hopefully people will see it, read it, and it gets their attention. But yeah, as I've stated, you're always going to have that one person that doesn't read it. It doesn't matter. They could be blaring it. You could be blaring it with a foghorn in their face and they'll be like, what? So, don't be alarmed if if someone doesn't see it. But again, my goal is just to try to make it as simple and easy as possible. And as long as I can get the communication out there, that is what is important to me. So, yeah. So what I like to do before I start a run. I got my lovely little handy dandy tools. I come in, I choose my squad color for whatever thing we're doing. We're going to say we're going to do a hot run. So, you know, we got our, oh, look at that. We got our chill hot run, boom, to boom, to boom, starting waypoint, bam. So I do that first. Then I will drag myself into subgroup 2. And then I can right click. If you right click down in subgroup 2 or down below, it locks all subgroups. Or you can go up here and just lock just the one you're in. I still just lock all. Again, because you don't want people moving everyone everywhere, because it has happened and it may happen. So I'll put myself in group 2. Other players join, they'll be in group 1. I put myself in group 2 for a reason. And that reason is when I get into a map, people can find me easily if they're not in my same instance. And I have a lovely little thing in my little notepad here, which I will get a picture of my notepad since I can't just drag it into this screen for whatever reason. And I have it blank. If not in same instance, right click on me in subgroup 2 and click join in. So when I type it in, I can easily just type in the name of the map. And even there I spelled it wrong. And again. So that way then it's easy. You know, and people can find you easily. Then once we start the run, what I like to do then, once we get started, kind of get a little bit into it, I'll move myself to group 1. And I do that because I like to, while we're doing like fighting HPs, and there's no one near enough that I can target, I like to target whatever fighting HP it is that we're doing. And if you are in a different subgroup, only that subgroup sees your target. So if you're chilling in subgroup 2 and you target an enemy, the rest of the squad's not going to see it. So I like to move myself to group 1, because obviously once you get going in the train, less and less people are going to be coming from the other maps. And, you know, if they are, 9 times out of 10, 95% of the squad's already with you, so they can just right click on anybody and get into the map. So that way then I can, you know, maximize my help to the squad by being in squad 1 and targeting the thing. Also, sometimes people will talk in party chat. And if you're in subgroup 2, all by your lonesome, and they're talking in party chat, the comm isn't going to see it. And the only way I'll know if you're talking to me is if someone says, hey, make sure you type in squad chat. So I've had people do that on my runs. I've had people do it on other people's runs, and I'll correct them and say, hey, I'll be the one saying, hey, make sure you go in squad chat because the comm isn't going to see it. And then they say, oh, thank you, I didn't know that. And then they go into it. So that's the other reason I sit in squad 1. That way then if someone accidentally does party chat, I can see it, and I can see squad chat, and everything's fine. And I won't be able to see if you're talking behind my back. I will know it. I will know it because I am all-knowing. I am Aixxel the Amazing. Not really. I'm just Aixxel the average. Just trying to help out. So yeah, so once, you know, we get started, all right, we are in subgroup 2, we're good to go, we got that all up. Then we go to looking for group, and we're going to throw it up in Heart of Thorns, Verdant Brink, because that's the first map. Oh, look, Osano's running. So then you advertise your group, and I have in my notepad, I have a lovely little thing. What did I say on our thing? I think we're starting at, what, 25? So I fill in 25 in my thing. I hit copy, I hit paste, boom. And then you hit advertise group and you're good to go. I usually do English because that is my native language. I know a little bit of Spanish, but it ain't enough to get me anywhere. So I like to do that. That way then people know, okay, this person, if I come in going, habla español, I'm be like, I know what you just said, but I can't say anything beyond that. So you advertise your group. It appears just like this, like Osano's, and you can join it. Obviously the join button won't be there because you're the commander. But yeah, and then after that, once it's up, it's ready, you know, I start my advertising. So what I like to do is if I'm doing a Heart of Thorns run, I try to advertise in those zones last, because that way then I'm right where I need to be. If I'm doing a Path of Fire run, I advertise in those zones last. Same thing goes for, I can't find you, Canthea. Here we go. EOD. So since this is a hot run, theoretically, I will advertise in, you know, it doesn't matter where I start, as long as I end near Heart of Thorns. That's just my personal preference. You can start advertising in Heart of Thorns and then come back. I just find it easier that way, then you're kind of already right there and you're good to go. So, you know, for Setung Province, I try to choose waypoints that not a lot of people go to. You know, like this is the starting one, so people will be there. I usually go here, and I come into the map, and I have another little thing on my, in my notepad, copy and paste, and I throw it. Granted, this is say chat, I know, but normally be in map chat. This is just so people don't see it and go, wait, he's running? And be like, no, not today, not right now. But so I throw that up. Quick, easy peasy, and since I already have it copied and pasted, I can just go quickly into the next map and just keep going boom, did boom, did boom, did boom, did boom. Oh. Well, I didn't know that that could happen. Apparently I'm talking too much, which that honestly doesn't surprise me. So, anyway. So then we'll go to Koenig, we'll go to Echoval, we'll go to Dragon's End, then we go over here to the desert. I do Vabi, Desolation, Elon, Crystal, and Desert Highlands. And then Central Tyria, I'll usually do Lion's Arch, and then I go up into Divinity's Reach. And then, since we're going to Hot, we'll start at Dragon's Stand, quickly throw one up there, Tangle Depths, and Auric Basin. And then once I get to Auric Basin, I just quickly use my own message to get me to Verdant Brink. So we'll go, I'm not going to go in there because then people will see me and think I'm running. But alright, so then once we get to Verdant Brink, I will lay out the last message. Wow, I can't talk anymore. I've been banned, I've been silenced, I've been Deadpooled.
Wait, is that you? Striker finally figured out how to shut you up.
Wow. Anyway, so once we're there, I throw one up at, you know, at Verdant Brink. And then I usually go to the Hero Point Train Guild that I'm in, and I will throw one up in there. And then, once we're there, I will say in squad, in VB, if you need to TP. And that way then players know, okay, it's safe to teleport to the commander. And then, you know, every like 5-10 minutes or so, I'll say starting in 10 minutes, smiley face. And I just chill. We just chill and wait for the run, and we're good to go. Oh, and then the other thing I do, which I always forget. So if you hit enter and you do /LFG, it changes your present status. And normally it pulls up your LFG that you posted. Since I don't have one, yeah. So it makes you blue to your friends, and then you get this lovely little blue icon that lets people know, okay, they're looking for a group. And since I'm not, the only way to get out of that is I have to go invisible and back online, and then you're back to normal. Now I do the LFG, the /LFG last, once I'm in my starting zone, because as soon as you switch maps, it gets rid of it. So I make sure I get all my stuff set up, get all my advertising done, and once I'm in the starting zone, that's when I /LFG. And then I usually try to do it when I get to the next map. Half the time I do forget, because I get caught up in the moment, but I try to. So that way then people still know, hey, they're looking for people. But again, it's an optional thing. Not required, but you know, it does help if there's people on your friends list that are looking to see if you are hosting something. So we just chill, we wait, and then I do my spiel, usually about 5 minutes before the run starts. And then that's when I throw out, I've got peach pies and chocolate chip cookies. And they sit out for 5 minutes before they disappear, which I think is the perfect time, 5 minutes before the run, to lay it out. And that way then, by the time the run starts, they disappear, you have an hour's worth of food perks, and you're good to go. And then I start by giving my spiel. So my spiel consists of pretty much telling the squad everything that we're going to be doing. And I try to make it, especially for my chill runs, I try to make it as simple and easy for people to follow. So right now I got my chill run one up, so we'll just do it as an example. So 5 minutes before the run starts, welcome to the chill HP train. I tend to run slower trains to help newer players. And then I let people know, if that's not your thing, occasionally I host fast runs, and a lot of other comms do too. Then my next 3 lines are different. I have 3. So we'll be getting 330 HPs across 3 maps. The next line is 290 HPs across 5 maps, and 300 HPs across 4 maps. And if you guessed it, each of them correspond to a different expansion. So I just make sure I select the right one. And since we're doing a VB run, or a Heart of Thorns run, we'll be getting those. And then we will also be grabbing waypoints as well. And then I tell people, follow me and the markers that I leave. And usually I have one marker pointing to the food. So usually once I lay the cookies down, I'll put an arrow there and I'll put food. And then everyone's like, oh, yummy, 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 yum. So then when I say, follow me and the markers I leave, I usually just place them all right behind me so people can see what the markers look like. That way then they know, okay, this is what I need to be on the lookout for. Because I've had people where they're like, what is that purpley circle thing that's there? Is that something important? So at least people can see these, and they know what they are, and they know what they're looking for. And then my next part of my spiel is, you know, if you can't follow me, I'll leave a portal. And then I just quickly do a demonstration. I throw a portal and a portal here, and everyone loves testing it out, and they go crazy. And they're like, yay, I'm going to keep going in and out, in and out. But at least then, again, players know, okay, this is what the portal looks like. This is what I'm going for. Now, again, this is for my chill run, okay? You can host it any way you want. I'm just trying to help it with the newer player base so they know what they're looking for. So that's why this is so in-depth. I'll show you my fast one as well. Like, that one's just like boom, 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 boom. But anyway, so I let people know the portals only have 10 seconds, 20 people limit. You know, and I tell them, you know, if you can follow me, please do, as to not take away a port from someone that may really need it. Because if you have a sky scale and you're just like, well, I'll just use your portal and whatnot. If it's a small group and I can afford to take you, then by all means, hop aboard. But if I have a group of 50 and I'm the only one porting, if you can follow me on a sky scale, I at least want to let you know that please do it. That way then if, you know, that one little noob kid's like, I only got my raptor and I've been left behind, oh no! You know, that way then they have a chance to stick with the squad. And then I let people know, hey, if there's any mesmers, feel free to help with these. And I let them know that that is always appreciated, because it always is. It always is. 9 times out of 10, commanders don't mind if you help with ports. As long as you port them where you start the port where they do it, and you end it where they do it. That way then they know you're not some troll portal. I've met only like a handful of people that are like, no, you can't port. But usually commanders are very happy if they can get backup. And then I tell people the next thing is always located with the squad attack order. Remember what we said earlier? And then after I say that line, I do shift, click, and I mark like this a couple times to get people's attention. And then we do our alt, click, and I put the squad order there. And then I do shift and then right click to draw my little circle around it. So that way then when you're doing this, when you're doing this, it gets their attention to kind of look on the map. And then they'll see this and see your little circle, so they know, okay, this is what I'm looking for. Again, it's a personal preference thing. You don't have to do it, but whatever way you want to do it, whatever way helps you get through it. So then I tell people, if you miss current HP, type X and we will redo. I might end up changing that line anyway, because a lot of people don't really type X. I usually ask afterwards, anyone miss it? And everyone's like, yes, no, maybe so. So, and then I let people know, not to be afraid to ask for help. We as commanders are here to help you. I mean, unless it's specifically a fast run, then, we're here to guide you. So my goal is, for my chill runs, is I like to help and make sure that people get the HPs that they want. That they came here to get their 330 HPs, or their 290 HPs, or their 300 HPs. I want to make sure that they get them. So that's my goal. So, and then I just let them know that, you may be lost, but you may just be a port away. And if they aren't a port away, I tell them, we'll meet me at the last waypoint and we'll be good to go. And then I tell people, feel free to chat. And of course, as always on my runs, the most important thing is you gotta relax and have fun. Even you as a comm. Yes, on your first few runs you may make mistakes. And shit may hit the fan. I know, I've been there. But a lot of times, especially if it's your first few runs, I would, when you go to advertise in LFG, I would put in there, commander doing first run, and a lot of people will understand, okay, so if things do go south or sideways, they know, okay, he or she is new at this, and they're trying to do their best. They're learning while we're learning. And 9 times out of 10, people are so understanding. Because my first train went absolutely horrible, and everyone was so cool about it, and that's kind of what helped me keep going. That and all the positive messages. So, and then usually once that's done, it's about a minute to go to the run, and so then I'll get ready and I'll get rid of all my markers, and then I'll put my squad attack order on an actual HP, and on the first HP, and then we'll wait until we go. And then once we go again, we switch to group 1, and we're off. So, God, that's a lot of talking. Alright, but for my fast runs, I tend to keep it short and sweet, because I figure they're fast runs. People are going to know, I would hope that they would know what they're getting into. So just to quickly lay out my fast HP, I put welcome to the fast HP train. We're going to be moving quickly. I realize this pace is not for everyone. I do host slower runs as well if interested. This run is for those that are looking to get the HPs done quickly. I tell people having knowledge of the maps does help, but if you do get lost, these do come in handy, and I let people, see them. And then I just put, Mesmers, please feel free to help with ports using, and I throw this up here again. And then try to leave ports open for people that may need them. And most importantly, relax and have fun on this runaway train. There's no point, we're here to have fun. So you just got to relax, let loose, and let the trains roll, So something also to keep in mind as a commander. You need to make sure you watch where your trains start. Like what time they start. Because, I've had people, meta people will get really mad at you. I've noticed, mostly in EOD maps, because they're newer, so a lot of people are doing the newer metas. Also, when the metas are going, it's a lot tougher to get into these maps because they have a smaller player cap. So it is very, very tough. So that's why I try to run the metas when they're not going. Alright, so I usually just go to Google, I type in Guild Wars 2 timers. And it should take you to the Guild Wars 2 wiki page. It says Event Timers, Guild Wars 2 wiki, GW2W. So if you click on that, it'll show you the map timers of the world. So you can kind of get an idea when each meta begins and ends. So I know I still have trouble getting Heart of Thorns down pat, because sometimes my trains take longer and I end up running into the TD meta, and the TD meta people do not like that whatsoever. I mean, occasionally you get a few that are like, okay, or you get an empty map, which is a godsend. But, you know, you really want to try to avoid... Oh, that's not loading. Okay, here we go. You really want to try to avoid the Tangled Depths meta. That one comes up first, followed by right after is Urk Basin. So you kind of have to, especially if it's a slow run, you got to kind of time it up right. Verdant Brink, usually the most people when they're active is like Nightfall. And I don't even like really running Verdant Brink in the night because there's so much more Mordremoth vines and it just creates problems for players and stuff. But if it happens, it happens. I know sometimes a lot of comms won't do the metas. What I like to do is I like to ask the train, you know, if we're in the middle and all of a sudden Urk Basin's going off, which for me that hasn't happened in a while, and I'll ask the squad, hey, you know, should we help them? Like, if they ask for help, and some people will be like, yeah, some people will be like, nah. So it all depends. I know I've stopped to help when we were close to finishing Tangled Depths, and I stopped to help the meta, and we had probably the most important lane with the stomping of the mushrooms, and none of us, you know, not many people have very strong DPS builds on these trains because they're newer players, newer characters, just trying to unlock those skills that they can use. And we beat but another lane failed, and the whole map blamed us, even though we stopped to help. And a lot of people were like, yeah, XP, woo! And they were still mad. So, you know, for every awesome message you get from people, you are still going to get people that hate you. So just take it with a grain of salt. It happens. You know, being a commander can be a tough job. But when you get amazing messages that, you know, people are like, hey, you know, you helped me get this and that, and I had fun and did this, it really makes up for it, for all the negativity, which it's Guild Wars 2 and there's not a lot of that. At least not in PvE. I've been told PvP is not the same. But anyway, you just got to try your best to try to avoid the metas. Dragon Stand is a whole meta map. You don't have to worry about it because we as trained commanders don't go there. There's 7 HPs and they're all communes and half of them are locked behind the meta. So you don't have to worry about that. But you just got to kind of time it up right using the wiki page and get through those. Now, Path of Fire has metas, but I've never had a problem. I mean, maybe occasionally getting into the maps, yes, but I've never had a problem where if we're doing an HP train and they're doing a meta and they're like, oh no, an HP train. So that's just me. Canthia, on the other hand, you got the Aether Blade happens here, followed by right after is the Blackout, and then it's the Gang Wars slash... Oh, what's going on there? The Gang Wars slash Aspen. It depends on which one they flip-flop. And then there's obviously the whole Dragon Stand meta, which none of the HPs here are locked behind it, but it's best to try to avoid the meta there. Like, as long as you come in when the map's low. And I like to actually do a private squad when I get there. That way then the map doesn't see the tag and doesn't think you're there for the meta. So I like to start, for this I have this down pat, no problem. I like to start my EOD runs a little bit after the Aether Blade meta. That way then, while you're doing your HP run here, the Blackout's happening here. Then by the time you get there, the Blackout's over and Gang Wars and or Aspenwood is happening here. You get through this, that's done, or you're getting the tail end of it, and you get into here. Now, depending on when you start, you could be at the Battle of the Jade Sea, which then is going to be really hard to get your squad in there, or you could be just at the end of that, at the start of a new fresh map, and your readiness is low, and then that's when you switch to your private, and then you quickly get your 6 HPs, and if you're doing waypoints, your 5 waypoints there too, and just boom, knock it out of the way. So just keep in mind, try to be mindful of the meta, people, because they will yell at you. I'll have the wiki link in the description below, so that way then you can look at it. I know Taco, the tactical overlay app, does show, it shows everything except for EOD. But then again, I haven't been on it in a while, so maybe the latest update fixed that and they show EOD now. But yeah, you could also pull up the Taco and look at the timers via right in game. So, I feel like the ideal class for running HP trains is, definitely a Mesmer. Now, whether you do Chrono, Mirage, or Virtuoso is up to you. This is the build that I use for Chronomancer. I can link it in the description. But the main things that you're going to definitely want is your portal, Mimic, to help reduce the cooldown, or help get you a second port. Well of Recall helps give you some alacrity, and Mass Invisibility, just for when you need to make some of the squad invisible, like during a commune and you don't want them to be attacked. You could also do the Feedback, and that creates a dome around your character, so that way then it deflects stuff. But yeah, Mimic is definitely good. So you place your portal, and then wherever you want to place the exit portal, you make sure you hit Mimic first, and then you have to quickly hit portal again, because if you don't hit it within the right amount of time, it won't apply it to this. So we're going to do Mimic, boom. And so now I can get a second port ready to go. But just be careful, if you do your second port, it will get rid of your first port. So try to leave it open for the full 10 seconds or 20 people that it allows you to carry. And then the Well of Recall, like I said, that gives you 5 seconds of alacrity, which helps speed up your recharge. And it's got a pretty fast cooldown, so you can use it fairly regularly. But yeah, so that's what I find to be helpful. I mean, you could be any class running a hero point train, but I find that Mesmer is definitely the best class to help get people where they need to be. And then another thing I do suggest is practice your run. Make sure you can get to each HP at least somewhat on foot, and if you have to port people at certain spots, do that. Don't just take the sky scale everywhere. That's what I did on my first train. So I knew how to get to the HPs, but at the same time I didn't know how to get to the HPs. And that's why my first train was an absolute train wreck. Took me a little bit longer to figure out paths and all that. But like I said, I will have the next few videos will be of each of my chill runs and each of my fast runs, so if you want to use those as a basis, you can. Or if you just want to use them all the time, you can. But, yeah. But if not, just, if you decide to take a different route, just practice, practice, practice. And, yeah. Okay, so something else that I forgot to mention that I think is really, really, really important. So, alright, so let's say you're at this waypoint with your group. and a player is somehow lost over in here. Help me, I don't know where to go. Granted, it's right there, but just for demonstration purposes. So we're at this waypoint, the person is lost somewhere in between, but we've got this waypoint together. They got lost somewhere here. So what I do is I tell the squad, wait 1 sec, and then what I do is I'll find the missing player, I'll whisper them, not in squad chat, but right now I'm just doing that as testing purposes because I got no one to whisper. I'll whisper them the waypoint, because even if you tell people to wait and you throw this in the squad chat, they're all gonna flock there. Some people will say, the commander said to wait here, but most will usually, yeah. So we'll go to this waypoint, and we'll pick up the missing player. So what I do is I'll hop on the turtle, and then I'll just say in chat, or again in another whisper, hop on. And then they'll hop on with me, and then we just go to the waypoint here, and boom, and they'll have the waypoint. So if we're waiting here, or if this is a waypoint near an HP, we can easily get the player back to them. Now, it only works if you're porting within the same map. If you're trying to port there to a different location, it's not going to work. So, but it's definitely a useful tool. Now, if you don't have the turtle, afraid not, because they did have this in the store, and I'm sure lots of people bought it because it's an awesome chair. If you have the tea time set, same rules apply. So you just go to the waypoint, pick up the player, have a lovely spot of tea, and you could talk about all the things that are happening in Tyria, and maybe have some crumpets as well. And you could port them right into the next location. So, and this does go on the store every now and then, so if you don't have the turtle, you can use this if you bought it. Or if you don't have this and you have the turtle works that way too. If you don't have either, unfortunately that's when you're going to have to either tell them to TP to friend, or you have to tell the squad to wait, and then you go back to the waypoint and then guide them back to where they need to be. But yeah, I just thought that was a really useful thing, and I meant to talk about it earlier and I completely forgot, so just threw that in there now. Another thing that I like to have as a commander is the prototype position rewinder. Now that you have to have Living World Season 4, and it's in, oh, of course I don't have it unlocked on this character. Hold on. Okay. Alright, so you gotta have Living World Season 4, and it's down here in Sandswept Isles, at the waypoint Aixxel encampment waypoint. This heart vendor right here sells it. You do need to complete the heart in order for him to sell you stuff, and it's one of the infinite hearts, so I don't know if they updated that to where, like, the EOD hearts, you only need to complete once and then you can access the vendor. But this one, I remember you had to keep doing the heart if you, like, every day, once it reset, you had to do it just so you could talk and get stuff from the vendor. I, for the life of me, cannot remember how much it is off the top of my head. I wonder if I can go there and he'll show it. Oh, wait. Like what I just said. The heart vendor won't open. Well, I guess we'll see if they update it. Nope, they didn't. Okay. So yeah, you have to complete this heart every day if you want to access the vendor. I'll have a little thing that shows how much it costs. It's season 4 currency, I believe. So you're looking at, is it Bala? I thought that was season 3. Either way, I'll have it shown how much it is here. But what, let's go back to, okay, so once you get that, what's cool about this feature is it allows you to portal your, or position yourself back to a certain spot. So we equipped it, and number 1 marks the location, and once you do that, number 2 will have rewind. So let's go somewhere, let's see, let's go really, really far away. Whee! Alright, 2. Ta-da! Now there are drawbacks to this. It only lasts 30 seconds, so make sure when you use it wisely. Because once that 30 seconds is up, you do not get it. Also, if you port, it gets rid of it. So that's something to take into consideration when you're using it. May take some practice to get it down pat, but I like to use it when I'm going to the Mushroom Queen HP in Tangled Depths. And if I'm helping Xander, I'll use it on the Golem HP in Uric Basin to quickly place a mark, go start the HP, and then port back and be able to port people up by the time he gets there. So it's definitely a unique little feature. And then of course you could also get the Black Mantle portal device, which allows you to lay down a port. It has a cooldown of 30 minutes. And I think it works the same as a Mesmer portal. I think it's 20 people that it can take. And Xander will use that definitely in Path of Fire, going across the Sulphur and Desolation. I unfortunately don't have it because you have to get it by killing a certain raid boss, and it has a slim chance of dropping, but once you kill that boss you could buy it at the store, but it takes a lot of raid currency, and I'm not much of a raider, so that's pretty much why I haven't touched it. So I'll probably never get that. Maybe one day, but that day is not now. Alright, so with all that out of the way, you guys should be ready to lead your HP trains. Now, I know what I threw at you guys was a lot, and I was really hoping that this video would be a lot shorter. Fortunately, that didn't happen, because I had a lot to say, but I hope that it was very informative and insightful, and I just like to give my tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. So, yeah. The next few videos, I'm going to have this as part of a playlist. The next few videos are going to be my Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, EOD runs, all chill, followed by Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, EOD, fast. So you can kind of get an idea of my runs, and you can kind of use it as a guide. So, but yeah. Thank you all for watching, and I hope that this guide was able to help any of you new commanders out, and I will hopefully see you out on the field.